Just feel free to continue on lunch and as the main course is served. So actually, did you know that one of the top services exported globally by the Philippines is actually cloud accounting? So we'll learn more about that, and of course, CloudCFO, we already talked about it, but a little bit more than that, right? And so CloudCFO is actually the leading cloud accounting firm in the country that aims to empower local and global SMEs to make financially sound decisions to foster their growth. So you heard about it with Mikeller a while ago, right? Like actually SMEs, they're only 4% of small businesses, SMEs who actually reach their full potential of reaching over $1 million a year. So that's a US market data, but actually reflective of global, what's happening globally. So, to get us acquainted with cloud accounting and what it is really about and the industry, and how CloudCFO is leading the charge here, I'd like to call on the visionary leader behind the company, Mr. Mikel Cardoso Das Neves. And turn over the floor to him as he shares more about our services. Welcome, Mika.
Thanks, Michiko. Thanks again. Thanks everyone for being here. It's really a pleasure to have you here and get to share about our experience and what we're trying to do with you guys. I think we can go through that very quickly. We kind of talked about who we are, what we do. We're a cloud accounting firm, but we technology enabled. So I think it's a big aspect. We combine expertise and technology to empower businesses. That's really what drives us. So quick facts about us. We started in 2016 where cloud accounting in the Philippines was pretty much non-existent. I think we really took on the challenge of bringing it to the country and see if it worked actually. Is there even really a demand for it? And we validated that very quickly. Right now we have about 120 staff and 230 something companies serviced at the moment across multiple countries. The projector is not great, but this is a picture of our application with, that's not a real employee, but that could be. So really what we're trying to do here is bring the future of accountancy to the Philippines and globally. So our mission really is to empower business leaders to achieve their goals. And to do so, they will need proper financial management. So I think as Michiko mentioned, less than 4% of businesses exceed $1 to $2 million in annual income. Less than 20% of businesses survive past 10 years. And when we do a research on the key reasons why that is, among the top 10, at least 4 of them are financial reasons why they can't really reach that full potential. Poor financial management, poor tax management, poor cash flow management, and then something that is a consequence of all that is inability to really raise capital when they need to grow. So our objective really is to empower businesses. And kind of as I segue into this really, my personal story here is that I grew up in France. My family my dad retired now, but he ran a construction business. I come from a family of immigrants. My background is Portuguese, but I'm born in France and my parents moved to France. So my dad worked hard. He ran this construction business that was fairly successful. But I remember as a young teenager, my dad always got stressed around April because he was going to meet his accountant once a year to file his taxes. And he was like, oh, I hope we did a good year. And to me, that was nuts. He's been working so hard on construction sites for 12 months plus 3 months at the end of the year, right? So the full 12 months up until April, so 15 months of hard work. And he didn't know if he did better than the year before. And that's the story for so many entrepreneurs. They're just going by with what they know. Cash in the bank. Do we have cash? Good. But cash and accounting doesn't mean you're actually performing better. Maybe you have liabilities that you're not aware of and your cash balance is going to deplete very quickly. And that was, luckily my dad did okay, but he never really reached the full potential he could have had with proper financial management. And that's kind of probably what inspired me to do this later on in life. So what do we bring to the table? Our objective is to bring the expertise of a seasoned CFO, Chief Financial Officer, the most senior person in the financial organization, or in an organization in the field of finance, but without the FT cost. So what does that mean? Our goal is to give business owners timely, complete value-added financial reports on a monthly or quarterly basis. That's what's necessary for you to make decisions about your business. Are you performing? What are your margins this month against last month? Do you need to invest in a different line of products? Do you need to kill certain products because they're not performing? Those are the answers that really we try to bring to business owners. How to do that? It's actually not that simple. What makes us special is we use technology to do this. We combine expertise of our accountants with tailored technology that we build ourselves. We have our own development team, we have a chief technology officer. We invest more than 20% of our annual income into research and development and technology. Because that's really the vision behind cloud accounting, is technology and expertise together can deliver things that we couldn't do before. And that's really what we have validated. And the objective is to do it as an unmatched value. So combining expertise and technology, you bring efficiencies, and if you can do that, then you can become affordable for SMEs that otherwise couldn't afford that type of expertise before. And that's really what we bring to the table. So quickly about our business model, our service catalog will do bookkeeping online, financial reporting, tax services, we can do payroll, accounts payable, so anything that touches accounting and finance. For so long as it can be digitalized, meaning we can do it online, we can perform our services. We have different types of models, fixed scope, so you just tell us what's your business, what type of activity you're in, how big is your business, and we'll give you a monthly fee. If your business scales up, then our fee will adjust gradually as you grow, but it's fair enough because you're growing, so it's not. Or then you have a time-based model, which is probably more prevalent in the global markets, because that's what they used to when they compare us with BPO. They like to compare against like cost per hour, etc. So here's fixed. Here's fixed cost is really kind of like still fixed but bit time-based, like how much time they get from different types of expertise. By the way, if you have questions anytime, please interrupt or for the end up to you. Our journey, so we've been around since 2016. We've reached 100 customer mark around 2019, right before the pandemic, right on time. In 2020, we launched the first version of our web applications. For the first few years, we actually used third-party apps that were available for process management, and then we realized we can't scale. Like it's not tailored enough. It's not empowering us enough to really scale our service, deliver that value consistency at scale. So we decided to build our own technology that's really tailored around what we do and how we do things. And in 2021, we built our own payroll app as well. So we have a tailored payroll application for the Philippines market. So when we do payroll for customers, it's all done through an application that we also manage. Last year, we reached 100 employees. It's a big milestone for us. We're really excited about that. So as of today, so now we have about 230 plus customers globally, 120 team members, and as of last month, we launched our own AI integration where our application has now AI in the background that helps us automate certain workflows, and I will tell you more about this in a bit. This is kind of a bragging slide. Our customers, what they say about us. So we have known brands here. Food and beverage, some restaurants that you may know, and a lot more. I mean, 230 logos, we just put some of them here. Some customer feedback as well on how we have been essential for them to kind of get the proper financial management. Actually, I'd like to kind of talk about Tyler a little bit, again, just bragging rights. These guys, Paramount Lender Solutions, they're a fairly large company in the US, and they came to us almost in desperate mode. Like, Mika, I've tried hiring a CPA in the US. I've tried hiring outsourcing firms in India, in Vietnam. It's never worked. My finances are a mess. And they make more than $20 million in income a year. They just couldn't get it to work. And within 3 months, we set this up. Because what Tyler was missing in his company was financial processes. And that's what we bring to the picture. We build processes for them. We tell them what needs to get done. Our application tracks that execution. So Tyler is a very good showcase of what we can do that others haven't been able to do because they just bring expertise. They're missing the process and the technology part. And to us, that's absolutely essential. It's not just expertise, it's technology and processes. Actually, I cannot spoil this slide because I just talked about this. But so really, it's technology-empowered expertise. It's technology geared around the accounting expertise, around accountants to support them to do things better, for SMEs in particular. So we actually, I talked about we call them our brand promises or commitments to customers. Frequent financial reports and on time. Fast communication, if you have a question, you want to respond within 1 business day. And we make things efficient and scalable for you. We actually mean that. Our application tracks our ability to deliver to our customers. We track our delivery time for every report. We track our response time for every question. Technology supports our promises to customers, and that's what makes us. Everyone can say, I'll give you reports, but then they actually don't deliver or they deliver late. We're fully transparent. Our customers have access to our platform and they can see what we do and if we're doing it on time. I'll talk a bit about the rest of the things. So let's dive into AI a little bit. Sorry, did you have questions so far, or do you want to keep it for the end? Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. I want to talk about AI a bit. I asked you guys earlier, how do you see AI in your industry? A lot of the researchers around AI gave a 99% chance that bookkeeping will be automated in the next decade or so. But then, it's been around for a few years and nothing's happening. I mean, there is a little bit, but there's not much full automation of accounting work, really. So I actually started looking into this. Why is it that the first time we showed ChatGPT, it was like, oh my God, this is going to take over the world. But in practice, there are some applications, but we haven't seen huge gains in productivity everywhere or huge layoffs from this. And then I actually got very interested in this and started doing a bit of research. It turns out that major innovations in technology rely on something very important to reach their full potential. This is a picture of Nikola Tesla, a person that was absolutely essential in bringing electricity to the common usage. And that was in 1899. If you study the productivity gains in the US and in most markets that had access to electricity at the time, productivity only really picked up in 1930s, 30 years later. And studies show that the reason for that is we first tried to take electricity and apply it to the tasks we were performing as we were performing them before electricity. So we pretty much replaced manual tools with electrical tools. And that gave us a bit of a boost, but that didn't really change the game in terms of productivity. What changed the game in terms of productivity was the invention of a completely new manufacturing process. And that only came 30 years later when Henry Ford really started democratizing the assembly line. So it took 30 years to go from the initial technology, which empowered the productivity gains 30 years later. And that is because for 30 years, we were just replacing manual tools with electrical tools without rethinking the entire value production or the production system that needed to be in place. And I think to a certain extent, that's what's happening with AI. We're trying to apply AI to how we do things pre-AI. We're taking the task we were doing and applying AI to that task. AI, in my opinion, will reach its full potential when we rethink the way we do everything through AI, not apply AI to the task we're doing. So what we are trying to do is rethink the entire accounting process around AI and not just apply AI to single tasks. And actually this is an example for electricity. This also happened to the computer, by the way. Like, computer came out in the late 70s. The productivity gains in office space only kicked in when internet was coupled with the computer. Because before, instead of a typewriter, you type in a computer. It's better, you save it easier, you can reuse it, but it doesn't really change the game. It's much later on that the game was changed. In essence, I think AI is going to go faster. It's not going to take 30 years, but it's still going to push entrepreneurs, business owners, public sector, everyone to rethink about how we use that technology. So that's kind of how we go about this. At the moment, these are the things we do with our application. We manage processes, we manage deadlines, we track deadlines for our clients, something they like having. For example, we have their tax calendar in our app. There are a lot of tax filings in the Philippines, and it's really useful for them to know every month this is the things we're going to file for them, so we give them visibility on this. We also manage their files, so anything they send us is captured by our application. We manage communication. We respond through our application to their requests. And we also now are able to do bookkeeping directly from our app, where we post entries to their system through a direct integration. So what we're doing here is we're going outside of the typical accounting work, because accountants usually work with ledgers, obviously, right? Like entry, credit, debit. Here, we're integrating other aspects of our business: communication, file management, process management, deadlines. And our objective and our vision is to integrate all of that within an AI model. So whereas you're not trying to use AI just for credit, debit as we used to, we're taking the entire process, the entire experience of the customer who works with an accountant. And so last month we launched our first AI module, which automates expense booking. So a client will send us an email, so after the mail I'll take a picture of the receipt and send it to client@cloudcfo.ph. By the time our accountants will log on tomorrow, AI would have received that document, scanned it, tried to understand if we had to deal with a similar pattern. Did we work with CFZSC before? If we worked with CFZSC before, what did we do? How did we treat that transaction? Was it an expense? Was it something you reimbursed? And by the time our accountants log on, part of the entry will have been pre-filled for them. So they will just have to review it. So what we're doing is contextualizing a lot of what happens around the accounting treatment by bringing it a lot more information. So that's live now. We're really excited about it. Now, you could think, like, are we replacing our accountants? Not at all. We're empowering them. And that's the next slide. So while we do that, we're investing in training programs, because we're very much aware that the role of the accountant is changing. So we tailor training so that our accountants know how to use that technology, but also become advisors, really, because the job of the traditional accountant is going to change. They're going to become advisors primarily. So they'll need to understand how technology works, how it delivers the output, and then advise the customer on the output. And for us to do that, we really have to elevate the job of the accountant. And it's not about credit debit anymore. It's about analysis. It's about understanding systems. And it's about taking that information and advising your customers. So that's really what we're doing at the moment. We're investing in technology, but at the same time, we're investing in our people to make sure they can use that technology to their full potential. So our job is not really to replace them, not at all. It's empower them, is to be better, to help entrepreneurs better through that integration between expertise and technology. That's us in a nutshell. Sorry, I went probably a bit fast. I didn't want to disrupt your lunch too much, but yeah, that's what we do. That's how we see technology, and that's how we see the job of the accountant evolve in the near future. At least that's what we're working towards. Questions? Yeah.